So I came across a very, very old and interesting Qyou media video, and I thought everyone should hear about it. This was on Midas Letter. I used to watch them, not really watch them anymore. I don't know if they even release any videos anymore. But this video was on July 25th, 2019. And the stock on July 25th was around 7 to 8 cents. And if it floated there for at least a good year before in 2021 it blew up. So I'm going to play the video and then I'll share my thoughts on it right after.
Of Qyou Media. Scott, welcome.
Good to see you.
Or actually, you should say welcome to me since
welcome,
I'm in your house.
Welcome to PACAMP. Great to have you here, James.
Scott, quick overview. What is it that Qyou Media does?
Qyou Media is a very exciting company. What we do is we curate the best of YouTube. But we're very focused on one market. We have other businesses, but the main focus and the main huge upside potential with Qyou Media right now is happening in India. Now, not a lot of people that aren't focused on India are maybe aware of what's happening in India, but it is the most sought after place for all entertainment companies in the world. Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, said a year ago, the next 100 million subscribers to Netflix are going to come from India. Disney, Lionsgate, Turner, et cetera, are very focused in India, and that's where we're focused.
Sure. Okay, so how do you monetize a curated subset of the best of YouTube?
So, you know, we learned the hard way, actually. We developed initially what we called an international feed. We took the best of YouTube, not the most popular, that's easy, you can just go on YouTube and get it, but the kind of undiscovered stuff. This would be, you know, the cool guy on the skateboard bouncing car after car and maybe flying off a mountaintop, who knows, and in different...
Cool small cap market commentators from Canada.
Exactly, exactly. But a lot of really fun things. Another discovery mechanism for the Gen Zs and for the millennials. That's our focus. But we had it wrong. I mean, that's the only way to say it. We were trying to deliver kind of English language driven content and English mindset content to the rest of the world. When we went into India and we saw what was happening there with the population and with the millennials and with the YouTube market in India, we went, holy smoke, let's localize this. So our channel, Qyou India, is 100% Indian. Hindi right now, which is about 40% of the entire market of over 1 billion people. We are now on, as of this morning, about 380 million devices in India.
Wow.
And before the end of this year, based on contracted and handshakes, we'll be on about 1 billion devices with our channel Qyou India.
Interesting. So how does that translate into Q-on-Q revenue going forward, look forward, say, 36 months?
Well, you know, as I mentioned, we kind of stumbled a little bit when we first launched the company. The idea was great, but we just really had to do local content that was going to really be successful in that market. For example, we have Qyou Polska, which is doing very well. But I just want to stick with India because it's the one with this massive potential if we get this right. So I think we put out a press release recently, and we'll have revenue somewhere in the $1.4 million, $1.5 million for the quarter just ended June 30th, 2019. Virtually none of that's India. That's in other businesses. And what I'm saying to you, the future of the company and the upside is all about India. Meanwhile, our market cap's in this $11, $12 million range. And while I'm not giving you guidance or wouldn't want any investor to rely upon this, and I don't say that to kind of hedge my bets too much, it's just too hard to predict.
Sure.
But we think it's not unreasonable to think that we can't generate $1 million a month out of India, say 2 years from now. How do you generate that? Ad revenue. So what we did is we went to the Qyou. You've probably never heard of it. Almost 300 million cell phone subscribers on Qyou in India, and said, here's our channel Qyou India. It's very cool. It's all this hip stuff appealing to your millennial and your Gen Z audience. Is a mobile carrier, and they said, we love it. But guess what, Qyou? You get 50% of our ad revenue. So this is why we've been able to get so much carriage. So the big picture was a very simple philosophy. Create the content that people want to watch. This is what really sells in India. Get the distribution platform. You know, keep in mind what Canadian numbers would be. One of the big platforms, Bell or Rogers, having 10 or 12 million customers would be a massive number, obviously. We're talking today just under 400 million devices Qyou India is on, and on its way to 1 billion devices. We're also on Tata Sky, which is a satellite provider, Bharti DTH, that is a satellite provider. We are imminently going to be on Bharti's Wink program. That is if my number is correct, it's about 300 million subscribers, and then Vodafone, which is 400 million subscribers. Again, we don't get paid unless we sell ad revenues against that. We just completed putting the ad insertion technology in place so we can put an ad in place. And just last month, we sold our first ad. Nothing, $10,000, but I'm doing a backflip because now we've got the content, we've got the distribution, and now we're going to go and generate, we think, very, very, very substantial ad revenues.
Okay, so is it safe to categorize Qyou then as an ad-driven media company?
Yes, but the emphasis is on the audience. You know, the emphasis is millennials and Gen Z and influencer marketing. We just did our first influencer marketing campaign in India. So an audiobooks company wanted to sell audiobooks. We created a campaign, including some of the top Indian talking heads on YouTube who are really proud to be on our channel, and they got behind Facebook and other activities taking place in India from an influencer marketing perspective. As you know, influencer marketing is influencing everything. Part of your world is influencer marketing and how you think and breathe what you do with your business. So we you know, and just so you know, we're not a bunch of kind of country bumpkins hoping we can succeed in India. You know, our chairman of Qyou India is Andy Kaplan, came from Sony, was president of Sony Pictures Television International, somebody I met through my Lionsgate Entertainment relationships over the years, incredibly well regarded in India. Our people on the ground, Sundar Aaron, who runs the business there for him, incredibly well respected. So we've really got talent and people that are respected in India.
Sure. Okay, so let's focus on that a bit. The people involved. You yourself actually have made quite a career out of media and technology over the last 2 decades. Lionsgate notwithstanding, there's other things that you did even before that. Jump TV you recently sold for quite a nice figure.
You know, much of what we're doing with Qyou Media reminds me of Jump TV. Thanks for remembering the name. Back in 2005, I co-founded Jump TV. We went public in 2006. The premise was to stream international content. So I've always had this interest in international content and what was going to happen in the domestic markets and the diaspora markets. By the way, we're doing that with Qyou Media too. You'll see us soon start to offer Qyou India in places like Toronto, New York, where there's this big diaspora, and it would be the local carriers that would show that and hopefully attract an audience there. Jump TV is an interesting story. Morgan Stanley took us public back in 2006. The premise was to stream media, which, you know, here you do this for a living. Back in 2006, the internet was 95% text. Streaming was a very new concept. And just to give you the milestone, the iPhone's not invented until 2008. And we went public in 2006 with the premise of streaming live video. The iPad not until 2010. We then acquired and merged with a company called New Lion, N-E-U-L-I-O-N. And last year, I was very proud to tell you that that business was sold to Endeavor. Endeavor owns IMG and William Morris Endeavor. It's a major company out of Los Angeles for $250 million US. So I feel like we're reliving some of the things that we learned many years ago, and hopefully avoiding some of the mistakes that made it take a little bit longer before the success came.
Sure. So how does the whole Indian story ramp over the timeline? Like, is it imminent? Is it going to take years to build? What's the story?
You know, we all think of overnight successes, and the truth is they take years, whether it's a person's career or whether it's a business. In my view, I've had this philosophy forever. You're spending years building a core competency as a business or a person, and then all of a sudden it goes like that. What's really happened is you were slightly ahead of your time, all the building blocks were in place, and if your macro thesis is right, that's when it takes off. And that's what I think we have in Qyou Media. Listen, our stock's been punished. We kind of let it go to where it wanted to go because we failed initially. You know, it's a 7, 8, 9 cent stock price today, which is embarrassing in some respects, but you know, roll up your sleeves, never give up, dig in, and in this case, double down. I am so excited about India, and to your point, I think when the market starts to see, wow, they are going to deliver real revenue out of this Qyou India ad partnership relationship, and we're adding the number of eyeballs every month at the same time, you have that combination, and people are going to look at our market cap and say, holy smokes. And I personally believe that if, you know, we look out a couple of years from now, we get to that $1 million a month in revenue, we'll have the kind of footprint that a major media company might be very interested in saying, wow, inside of our grand footprint, think of what we could do with that.
Sure. So what are the big milestones you're going to hit in the year ahead to really capture the growth?
Well, I think the most important thing is for us to execute on what we're saying we're going to do with the continued distribution footprint, meaning going live on Bharti Wink, going live on Vodafone, taking what's now, we just went live on Sony Live. Sony has an OTT service in India. This is what I mean. All the biggest players in the world are focused on India right now. ZTV, if you're Indian watching this, you'll know who ZTV is. You are global. ZTV has launched us. We're on 50 million ZTV, or 50 million people with the ZTT over-the-top bouquet have access to our content today. It doesn't mean they're all watching it. Our job is to get it become viral and it's fun for the kids to watch it. So execute on our way to 1 billion devices that have our content, and then get into that branding world. And again, if you read about advertising in India, it's literally going like this. It is one of the few markets in the world that is exploding. Also in television. Everywhere else in the world there's cord cutters, not in India. It's actually going like this. Now we're mostly mobile focused, but we're also on satellite and cable and other types of carriers as well. And so we've got to do that, and the influencer marketing. I mean, these are, as you know, they're becoming blurred and blended between conventional sponsorship and influencer marketing. And in the United States, we recently won an award for influencer marketing. That's really where the rest of our current revenue comes from. So we think we're really good at that. And as we continue, I think, you know, people are going to wake up at some point in the next few months and go, holy crap, what the heck's happening there? And all of a sudden, you know, this stock could be, many, many times what it currently is.
Sure. All right, Scott, that's a great update on the company. We'll leave it there for now and come back to you soon. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
So yeah, that was a very old video, and they said within 2 years, but he says in several months. But it took a while. It took, you know, a year, basically a year and a half before the stock skyrocket. But right now they're doing very well in India, very, very well in India. The GPR is like skyrocketing. So. And they're getting big partnerships like Pepsi and big companies that are worth tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. And I think over time they're just going to get more and more ad revenue coming in. That's just my opinion. So anyways, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for future updates and have a great day. Bye.